Well, it's time to say welcome back, Frank. That's right, the upcoming Punisher special presentation has kicked off production, and not only do we have a first look at Frank Castle in the new series, he's looking kinda gruff, we do have some confirmation on who the villain is gonna be, even though we still don't know who's gonna play that character. So let's take a couple minutes to check out these set photos, talk about Frank's current look, and the big revelation of who the baddie is gonna be. Let's dive in. Well, to say fans were excited about the return of Jon Bernthal's Punisher in Daredevil Born Again was a bit of an understatement. The actor has brought the character to life in a way that really nobody else has, and for me, he really is my favorite iteration of the character. There really is nobody that can bring the character to life with that yell that only Jon Bernthal can do, and when Netflix seemingly ending his time as the Punisher, well, I was pretty sad. Now, I really loved his return in Daredevil, and that final episode brought us some classic Frank Castle action with total brutality. So when we found out he was getting his own special presentation, well, we were pretty excited. Now, we knew the production was about ready to kick off, but now it has been confirmed, and a whole series of set photos were revealed earlier today that not only gave us our first look at Frank Castle, but seemed to confirm that Jon really is the villain of the upcoming series. Now, these pictures that came out earlier today show Bernthal once again sporting the beard and looking a bit worse for wear. We saw him clean up at the end of Daredevil Born Again. So I want to throw out a little caveat here because this series could be set well before the first season of Born Again. But at this point, we really don't know. Bernthal's Punisher always seems to clean up a little bit before he brings the action on, and I think while he's lying low, this is a look he often goes with. Not to mention, Frank's not best on the self-care, so showering, shaving, and getting a haircut typically is not his thing, and I still find it pretty ironic he did all those things knowing he was going to see Karen once again. Now, as for the villain of the series, well, some additional set photos did give us the full reveal, and although we don't know who's playing Jon, we do know their restaurant is already been spotted being set up in New York City. Now, this character was key in the story known as Welcome Back, Frank, which was a story written by Garth Ennis, and it seems like Marvel might be adapting several elements of the story. Now, in that story, Frank kills off Ma's 3 sons, and she uses her connection to the New York Police Department, and in the comics what's known as the Punisher Task Force, to set after Frank. But more interestingly, she also brings on the classic Punisher villain, the Russian, to take him out. Now, how far they adapt the story, that's really unclear, but if they start shooting at the New York Central Park Zoo, we'll definitely know. The comic closes out with Gnocchi losing all her limbs and scalp, and then the Punisher eventually throwing her into the polar bear enclosure. He then later burns her to death and punts her limbless and lifeless body into a burning building. Now, whether Disney Plus embraces this whole story, well, we're gonna have to wait and see. But they haven't backed away from too much TVMA, and seeing as Deadpool definitely pushed the language side of the equation, Frank Castle might be the one to push the violent side. Now, no matter what, I am super curious about what the special presentation might be setting up. I'm really sure Frank's going to be part of Daredevil Born Again Season 2, and we know he's going to be part of Spider-Man Brand New Day. So it seems like to me, at this point, next year could be a huge year for the Punisher, having multiple appearances for really the first time in Marvel history. It sounds like Marvel is going to stay in the Punisher business, and to me, that makes me excited. He's one of Marvel's most unique and, well, morally ambiguous characters ever, and something that the MCU, especially the street side of the MCU, definitely needs. Obviously, we're following this pretty closely. I hope you guys are as excited as I am, and until we know more, I have to know what you think. Do you think Marvel is indeed adapting the Welcome Back Frank story? And do you think we see Jon fed to polar bears? Tell me what you think in the comments below. Before we take off, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button and ring the bell for all the updates. We do daily Marvel and DC news, and we want to bring you all the news truthfully and transparently so you're really in the know.